Remember the rule? Why are you laughing? All right, are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Okay, welcome guys. Hi, and thank you for joining this week's episode of Ryan Condon Unscripted. Now, this episode is going out on Christmas Day for those that are watching on Patreon. Patreon supporters, join supporters on YouTube. You guys get this early. So, Merry Christmas, first off. Big Merry Christmas. Oh, we did that together. Oh, it didn't come out. Mine didn't come out.
Oh.
Mine's I'm going to have to do another one. Hang on, let me do another one. All right, we'll leave it. Oh, goodness.
Well, you ruined that.
Yeah, that didn't work. We'll try again later. So Merry Christmas. Thank you for joining. If you're watching this on my second YouTube channel, Ryan Condon Unscripted, first off, thank you for subscribing. You'll be watching this probably in the middle of January, if I've got my dates correct. In which case, Happy New Year. And you know, we're making this relevant to both audiences. So we're going to be talking about 2024 in review.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about some of the challenges that I'm doing at the moment and what's been going on with that. And we're also going to have an eye on talking about what's going to happen in 2025.
Hang on a minute.
What?
You haven't introduced me.
Oh, well, I don't think I need to introduce you because you're...
Doesn't matter.
You're now... Tracie.
Doesn't matter.
Tracie's
I
now...
need an introduction.
Oh, do you want to introduce yourself?
No, I'm a guest.
You're not a guest.
Yes, I am.
No. Do you remember? You appointed yourself as co-host. You've been promoted. You promoted yourself. You did what the equivalent of going on Dragon's Den for those in the UK or Shark Tank for those in the US. You went on Dragon's Den and demanded all 5 dragons make an investment in your business.
Wait, where's my money then?
You wanted £1 million for 1%.
Where's my money?
That's what you did on my podcast. You sat down and went, right, I'm now co-host. This is Tracie.
Hello.
My significant other and more importantly, my self-appointed co-host of my podcast. So, yeah, we're going to talk about some things. The first thing I wanted to talk about was, I think we need to kind of clear the decks here, which is the Rafa 500 and tabbing challenge.
Yeah.
So for those of you that watched the episode, not the last one, I think the one before, I can't remember.
It was not the last one. It was the last one I was on.
Yeah, the last
one. I don't know
one.
how many you've done in between.
Yeah, I think I've done a couple. So I've done 2. So it's the one that was the third one ago. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. We're trying to work out which podcast episode it was. But we talked about I talked about doing the Rafa 500, so which is a Strava challenge that you can do IRL or on Zwift on a bike where you cycle 500 kilometres between Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. So you basically have 7 days to knock out 500k.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, you say that. The challenge, so I wanted to do that, but I was talking about doing it in one go, didn't I?
Yeah.
Now, the reason why I was talking about doing it in one go is I like an endurance challenge. I like to be able to, do something that's tough. But I also had another challenge, which was the tabbing challenge.
Yeah, which we talked about last time.
Which we talked about in that episode. So if you haven't seen that episode, go and watch that, because this section here will make a lot more sense. However, in that tabbing challenge, and I should context this, what the tabbing challenge is, it's basically running or route marching 50k in the same period, so between Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, same as the
same 7 days.
Yeah, same as the Rafa 500, and I do it with a really heavy backpack. So I do it carrying 45 pounds on my back. That's the challenge, isn't it?
Yeah.
So those are the 2 challenges. Now, I wanted to do the Rafa 500 in one hit because it then meant I had the rest of the time free to do my tabbing challenge. So I could do the Rafa 500 on one day, and then I'd have 6 days left to cover 50 miles with a heavy backpack.
If you take out actual Christmas Day, gives you 5 days.
Yeah, that was the challenge,
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't let me do it on Christmas Day, would you?
No.
I would happily do it on Christmas Day. I'd happily disappear off on my own. But do you want to share with our audience what the conversation we had behind the scenes?
Well, in a year...
I'm just going to move your mic a little bit here,
okay.
just so as it's lined up. There you go.
Okay, so in a whole entire year, we only close our family business for the Christmas holidays and the Easter bank holiday weekend. So that doesn't give us very much time off. It's open the whole entire rest of the year. So this year, the way the schools break up and then go back again, it actually gives us a grand total of 11 days off. as all 4 of us, with no one having to be anywhere.
So we don't get a lot. So we don't get a lot of time off as a family throughout the year.
No,
that's that point. So
Yeah.
what was the conversation?
So if you was to then do this Rafa 500 and the tab-in, it would mean that you'd pretty much be out of the house for 10 to 12 hours within that 7-day period every day to cover off all of these challenges that you wanted.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be out. The Rafa 500 would take me between 12 and 15 hours.
In one go. So that's one day.
I've never done that distance. I've tried Everesting, which kind of took me that length of time. And but that's straight up. I've never done it over a flat terrain. So I'm not 100% sure how long it would actually take me to do that distance.
No, but it's not going to be 20 minutes.
No, it's going to be between 12 and 15 hours.
Yeah. So that's one day.
That's one day gone. And then the tabbing challenge, I'd be out for like 3-4 hours.
Every day.
Yeah.
But then you don't just put your shoes on, put your bag on and go.
No.
There's like 2 hours of faffing before you leave.
Yeah.
And
Me faff.
there's at least like an hour's worth of faffing and showering when you get home. So that's pretty much those 5 days.
Yeah.
Me and the girls will be sitting at home twiddling our thumbs waiting for you before we can do anything.
I'm sure you could entertain yourselves.
We probably could, but that's not the point of...
I know what you mean. So to get to the crux of it, we decided... I
decided that you had to do
pleased
one
you said
or
that.
the other.
Yeah, I had a choice between the two. So, in classic Ryan style, I had fear of missing out. I had FOMO of the Rafa 500 challenge. I'd never done anything like that before. I've never really done a big... multi-purpose cycling challenge on Zwift. Now, I've done the Everesting thing, but this is something that every year loads of people do. I mean, I looked on the Strava challenge and over 650,000 people have signed up to it.
Oh, that's quite a lot.
That's the Strava challenge. That's people.
Doesn't mean all of those people will do it, though.
No, well, I mean, I'm sure they're signing up to it for a reason.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they've got the intention of doing it. Whether they finish it is up, neither here nor there. But some of those people will be doing it in real life. Some of them will be doing it on Zwift. Some of them will be doing it on other indoor cycling apps. But I've never done anything which has involved so many people before, virtually. So I kind of liked the idea of doing the Rafa 500. So
you've decided that's the one you're going to do?
Yeah, so I'm not doing the tabbing challenge.
Tabbing can wait till next year.
Yeah.
You have already done a tabbing challenge in real life, like an actual event. This is just going to be walking around here and running. Yeah, running,
shuffling.
Yeah.
Route marching.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this on Christmas Day, then I would only have probably at this point have done one ride. I've got a ride planned for Christmas Eve. I've opened it up to everybody that's on my Discord. I've opened it up to everyone on my YouTube community tab. So I've advertised it, haven't I?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm assuming you have.
Yeah. So I've advertised it. So hopefully I'm going to have some people to ride with. It'll just be a laugh and I'm just going to, zone to it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm doing it around the big ring. Anyway, I'm not going to get into the Zwift details because that's dead boring for people that don't Zwift. But if you're... Yeah, and you. Yeah, because you don't Zwift.
No.
So if you're watching this in the middle of Jan, I've done and dusted it. So hopefully, fingers crossed, you'll know the result. I'm going to make a video about it anyway. I was umming and ahhing about streaming it. I've never streamed anything I've done before. I'm not a streamer. I make YouTube videos. I don't stream. There is a big difference between the two. So when you stream something, people tend not to watch it after the fact. They only watch it
because they've
live.
already watched it.
Well, it depends if they've watched.
They know the result.
Yeah, but people know the result if they watch a YouTube video.
Yeah, but you're not going to stream it and then watch the YouTube video afterwards.
But if you haven't watched stream live, people tend, even if you haven't watched it live, it's just the way of the world. People tend not to watch it after the fact. It's kind of it's a done and done thing. It's a one time off. Oh. It's a one time thing. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
So that's why I don't stream, because it's a lot of effort for something which, if you're not a streamer, you don't really get the audience for it. So, but I was going to stream it so as people had that engagement level that they could cycle along and have me on screen with them. So it felt like they were virtually cycling with me, not just on Zwift, but also on screen. But I've chosen not to do that. I've kind of bottled it a little bit. I found it a bit, I don't know. I'm not, it's a confidence thing, I suppose. I'm not streaming it.
All right,
okay. Oh, no one cares anyway. I put it on my Discord and no one cared on there either. So it just seems to be that I'm the only one that cares about not wanting to stream it, and I'm making a thing out. Anyway, moving on. that's the Rafa 500 and tabbing challenge context. I've kind of done a reverse on the tabbing challenge, only because I was looking forward to it, and it was something which I was geared up to do. I'd even gone out and bought new boots for it, but I'm going to use those boots for just training, because they are heavy and they are good for leg training, and also carrying a really heavy backpack as well. So they're not a waste of money, but it just means that I'm not going to do that over, and I'm going to do the Rafa 500 on Zwift instead. I think we've kind of laboured this point, haven't we?
Yeah, I think you've said as much about this as you possibly could.
Yeah.
Shall we move on?
Has it come across like I'm not bottling out and wussing out of doing the tabbing challenge?
No.
No. Well, considering that you won't let me do both,
Well, yeah.
I think it's important you kind of help me with that point.
Don't blame me for everything.
I'm 100% blaming you. Okay, right. Moving on. So, 2024, how's it been for us?
A mixed bag.
Yeah. What do you
There's
mean
been
by
ups and downs.
You keep talking so I can drink my coffee.
Oh, well, there has. There's been ups and downs throughout the whole year.
Yeah.
Personal and family and fitness related, all sorts.
Yeah. Do you want to highlight any points?
Not really.
Anything specific?
Not really.
Nothing at all?
No.
Can I finish my coffee?
Go on then.
We'll keep talking.
Everyone can just listen to your
I
goals.
don't want that. What points are you talking about? Ups and downs. So what were the ups?
Ups. Well, you getting below your 90 kg. That was a massive up for you, wasn't it?
I've lost 11 kg this year.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound a lot, does it? Can you look more impressed?
I don't know how much that... I work in pounds and stones still.
Yeah, 11 kg. So I came into this year just over 100 kg.
Yeah.
And I now weigh 89.
And that was your goal, to get below the 100.
Well, my
And
goal...
you was just above the 100, wasn't you, for a really long time?
Yeah.
And it took you a lot to get under it.
Yeah, I only dropped below the 90 within the last 2 months.
I think it might have been less than that.
No, it was the last, because I kind of yo-yoed a bit. I went below the 90, went back up again to like 92, and then I went back below the 90. So my rule, I don't update my weight on any app. So I don't update it on, I barely update Strava. For those of you, I just want to quickly say on Strava, remind me to come back to this point about the 11 kg, but this is important. It's only important to me, really. But anyone that I get asked quite a lot on my social media platforms to update Strava, and for, so people can follow me on Strava. Apparently it's a thing. I've never really been a big user of Strava. Do you know what Strava is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I used to use Strava when I first started going out walking, when I wanted to lose weight back in 2019.
To track how far you'd gone.
It was the only app I had.
Yeah.
Everyone said to me, use Strava to track your progress. So I used that. But because I've got a really old phone, believe it or not, for someone who actually uses quite a lot of technology, especially for YouTube, I had a really old phone. So I still got the same phone. I haven't upgraded it. It allows me to do what I need it to do. I don't want to waste money on a phone. I'd rather buy a new camera or a new microphone. However, I'm going off on tangent now. My phone, when I use Strava, when I had Strava on, wouldn't allow me, as soon as I got a WhatsApp and WhatsApp kicked in, it would crash Strava.
Yeah, and you couldn't listen to music and Strava.
And Strava at the same time. My app literally couldn't do 2 apps at the same time, which still can't. So it makes me laugh when I've got Spotify playing and I get an email and my email app kicks in, Spotify stops working. Anyway, my point is, I get a lot of people asking me to update my Strava. Can they follow me? Make it public. It's not public because I don't use it. The only updates I have on Strava is when my Garmin watch is connected to it, but I don't always use my Garmin watch to track my progress. So all my Zwift races are on Strava. All my runs are on Strava, but they're also on my videos and they're also on Zwift. So if people are interested in my Zwifting, they can just follow me on Zwift and see that progress there. If they're interested in my running, they can just watch my YouTube videos. I don't understand what the point of Strava is. I really don't. I never ever look at Strava. I think the last time I opened the Strava app was to work out where the hill climb was for the Ditchling Beacon climb that I did. So a hill climb on Strava, it will show you the start and the end of the where you have to start and end to be able to say you completed it. That's the only reason I used it, because I didn't want to stop like 2 foot from the end going, yeah, I've done it.
It wasn't actually at the end.
Yeah, and everyone on my video was like, man, you stopped too early. So anyway, I wanted
You're getting a bit sidetracked here.
Yeah, but that's the point of the podcast. Condon, why do you think it's called Unscripted? Don't huff and puff.
Right, back to your 11 kg.
I'm going to sack you from being a co-host. Carry on.
Back to your 11 kg.
So I lost 11 kg this year. I only lost... so when I dropped below 90 kg, I yo-yoed back up to 92, and then I dropped back low, and I've stayed now at 89. And I only update my apps, Strava, Zwift specifically, because people go mad about getting weight wrong on Zwift. And I get it, because, you know, there are people, I'm going to say this quietly, there are people that are obviously racing on Zwift that have never updated their weight. But it's funny because they never put it back up when they go up, but they always put it down and then keep it down. So I've got a rule, which is if I do lose weight, I monitor it. And when it gets to the point where it might take a couple of weeks, it might even take a month. But when it's got to the point where it's stayed there, because I kind of plateau for a while. Mm-hmm. So I get to a weight and then I might go up or down a little bit and then a plateau. So I actually got, at one point, I weighed myself about a month ago now. I actually dropped to 88 kg. But I didn't update it because I'm now back up to 89. And I've kind of plateaued at 89. I weighed myself 2 days ago and I'm still at 89 kg. Well, I was at 89.4, and then a few days ago when I weighed myself, I'd lost that 0.4 and I'm now 89. So I've kind of kept my weight the same on the apps, even though I dropped to 88. And if I go back up, then I'll
It's not really a significant enough change to make a difference to much.
No.
But back to the point.
That was the point.
No. Back to the point of the up was you getting below your 100 and then getting below your 90.
Yeah.
We was talking about ups and downs.
We were, yeah. But talking about weight, and this is a big one that I actually wrote down, which is for 2025, I've decided, with the exception of updating on my apps, because it makes a difference. If I go for a run, say I go for a 10k run, if I haven't updated Garmin or Strava with my weight, that run report will say that I burnt 500 calories.
Yeah, it'll be wrong.
It'll be wrong. Whereas if I've updated it to 89, I might have only burnt 400 calories. I say only, that's still quite a lot of calories, but do you understand my point?
Yeah.
So I need to update it for that reason. But I'm not, and also on Zwift. If I lose weight, I am 100% updating it on Zwift, because it'll be the difference between me dying in a race and me being able to get to the end of it and sprinting. Because Zwift is all about watts per kg. I've got a frog in my throat. However, this year has all been about weight loss for me, and about training to become a better runner and cyclist. However, for 2025, it's not
What's the plan?
It's not about weight loss.
No.
What's it about? I said that first. I said it at the same time. Jinx, touch wood. What's it about? You'd answer that.
It's your plan.
Oh, is it? So the plan for 2025, specifically from a YouTube perspective, is mental health or mental well-being.
Yeah, well-being.
Yeah. So physical health and mental health, physical well-being, mental well-being. I'm going to do things this year that are specifically tailored towards improving not only my physical attributes, so getting stronger, becoming a better cyclist, becoming a better runner, being more powerful, toning up. I want to tone up. I've lost, I'll be completely honest. We're going to talk about a challenge that we started in October, but we'll context it. But we started that challenge because I wanted to tone up and I didn't want to go to the gym. I find the gym really boring. But 2025 for me is about mental health and mental well-being. It's about improving my overall, how can I put it? What's the best way to describe it? It's hard to explain it unless you've been on that kind of fitness journey yourself. How would you describe it?
It's just about being happier in yourself and in your surroundings and comfortable. And
but I think it's more than that, because I am happy. I'm the happiest I've ever been. I don't talk about the dark days when I used to drink a lot as much as I should. I'm actually in the process of writing a script about being teetotal. Oh. I made a vegan video, didn't I?
Yeah.
And we've talked quite a bit about being vegan on this podcast, but we've never really talked about my alcohol addiction, have we?
Not really.
So
I think we did, the very first one I did with you, we did talk about it a bit.
We touched on it, yeah. We didn't go into depth because we kept it light.
Because you don't like talking about it.
Well, I don't mind talking about it if someone who I'm talking to is interested. Me and you have talked about it to death, you know, you lived it. So, you know, we don't.
I don't need to talk about it.
No, we lived it. And we got through it, and I came out the other side thanks to you. If I were someone sitting here and they were genuinely interested...
Yeah, you'd tell them and talk to them about it.
I would, yeah. I would tell them. But I like to keep my videos and my podcasts light and airy. I don't think people who are listening to this on their commute to work or going to the gym or maybe even going for a long Swift ride, I don't think people listening to this want to hear about, you know, my doom and gloom. I might be wrong. Let me know in the comments if it's something.
But that doom and gloom is what's led you to this point right now. The two, one didn't come before the other. No. If one didn't happen, you wouldn't be here now, and we wouldn't be sitting here making this podcast for people to be listening to.
No.
So they kind of have to know the backstory as to what got you to this point and why the mental well-being is so important. Because you could very, very easily be back where you was 5 years ago.
Yeah. Easily. And that's why I don't drink. One of the reasons I don't drink is because I don't think I can just socially drink.
No.
I don't think I can.
You've never been able to have just one.
No, and I think now if I ever had a snifter, even all this time, how long have I been teetotal?
I think it's 5 years now.
5 years. So we're going to talk about this more in future videos. I'm going to make a video about it because I've made a video about being vegan, and that was quite well received. It was quite popular, and really unexpectedly, the comments were really supportive. I mean, obviously I had a few.
There always is.
There's a few oddballs in there that get offended by the fact that I've chosen not to eat meat, and I haven't pushed it on anyone else. But anyway, the same with being teetotal. I've avoided making it a video about it because it's a very dark video, and I don't like making dark videos. But it is, to your point, it's reality of where I am now. You know, I wouldn't be doing the things I'm doing now if I hadn't have gone through the ring 5 or 6 years ago. Would I?
No.
So I will make a video about that. It will be something which, I'll come on to. However, coming back to my original point, this year is about, because I am happy, the happiest I've ever been, you know, on the back of those dark days of depression and alcohol abuse. I'm in a place now where I get up motivated. I spend my day doing motivational things.
Doing what you love.
Doing what I love. We run our own family business, which can be stressful. However, it's nowhere near the levels of stress that I used to endure in a corporate company, in that stressful environment, you know, where I had to run a huge... I'm not going to go into that detail because I'm talking about other people who were involved, and I don't want to talk about that. However, it was an environment that was... it was a pressure cooker environment.
And it was very toxic.
It was a toxic environment because it fed into my alcohol. Because there was a huge drinking culture, you know, a huge, you know, binge eating, binge drinking, social environment that I was expected to perform at. So it had a whole... And then the day job was just incredibly pressurised. So I'm in a place now where we run our own business. I'm in a place where I'm a lot happier for it.
Yeah.
Are you happier now?
Yeah.
Are you the happiest you've ever been?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. It's a tough one to kind of quantify, isn't it? Because there's always things we want to achieve, isn't there?
Yeah.
As a family, as
and
individuals.
you always want more than what you've got.
Yeah.
Grass is always greener and all of that.
Yeah. Do you know what? I used to be like that. I think if we're being honest, I used to think the grass was greener, but I'm actually in a place now where if you ask me to swap my life with other people that I see, I wouldn't swap it.
No, I wouldn't.
There was something that someone said to me once, which always resonated with me, which is if you could put all of your problems into a bag and everyone else that you know, that you might be, you know, everyone you see on Instagram, people that you know, your friends and family who you don't live with, not your nuclear family, your extended friends, work colleagues, if you could take all of them and they could put all of their problems into a bag, and then you all put your bag in the middle of the room and you could see what was in other people's bags, I think you'd pick your own bag back up again and walk away.
Would.
I would 100%. Because I don't think what we struggle with and our efforts and, you know, the stresses that we face, I don't think are anywhere near as bad as 2018 Ryan had.
No, definitely
I don't
not.
think they're anywhere near as bad as that, because that was pretty bad. And I also don't think, there's a lot of people out there that are really struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're not struggling.
No. So I think we're in a good place when it comes to that kind of mentality. Yeah. But 2025 for me is about exploring what I can do with that now. I want to do more with my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I want to do more with this podcast because I really enjoy doing this podcast. One of the reasons I started this podcast, and I've said this 100 times, I'm not going to labour the point, but it's important because one of the reasons I started this podcast was because there's loads of stuff that I don't put in or I edit out of my videos. Some of my earlier videos, I just waffled on like this.
You could talk for England.
Yeah. But I want it. So I'm enjoying this because it gives me the opportunity to talk about things that I'm passionate about and I care about. It's fair, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I want to explore what we can do with this podcast. I like talking to you. Do you like being a co-host on it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it feels like I've got false answers out of you. Sometimes it just feels like you're agreeing with me.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, at least you're honest. But I've also enjoyed having guests on. I know you're not involved in the ones that we have guests on, but they've been really good episodes. And it's interesting.
But those people have a knowledge of the Zwift and the running and all of the rest of it that I just don't have.
Yeah.
I have the knowledge of you.
Yeah.
I just don't know any of the other stuff. So
you have the knowledge of the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
Which is what this podcast was set up for.
Yeah.
And then talking to like-minded individuals who cycle, run and Zwift.
It complements it.
It complements it. Oh, yeah. It's good. Right. The wedding this year.
Yeah.
So we've touched on this before. We were supposed to get married. This is going to be in the video I made. I'm making the video now. It's going to go live this week where I talk about the fact that we never got married. Mm-hmm. Because my New Year's resolution video that I made back in January of 2024, I said one of my biggest achievements, one of my biggest targets, I actually called it a target. A target.
Oh.
Was to marry you.
Yeah.
Now, we've been together since, what year did we get?
2020.
What? 4 years?
Oh, 2000.
I'm pleased you made that mistake, because if I'd have made that mistake, is it because I'm so much fun to be with?
The time just flew by. Yeah. Only felt like 4 years. So
we've been together since 2000.
2000.
Because I actually wrote in my script for the video 2001.
Oh no, it was 2000.
Oh, so I got that wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. So I need to. So we've been together 24 years.
Yeah.
Wow. So we were supposed to get married in May.
Yeah.
And it never happened, did it?
No.
And what was the reason for that?
Because the people that we'd chosen to go with, they went bust and stole our money.
Yeah.
And it all got cancelled. And with other stresses we had going on at the time, we wasn't able to find a new venue. Yeah.
You don't mind me sharing this, do you?
No.
So,
Well, it's the facts of what happened.
Yeah,
it's
it
the
did.
Truth.
It did happen. So it's in my video anyway, so I'm pleased you don't mind me sharing it.
Oh.
I should have probably asked your permission first. But it's in the video. So your mum passed away, didn't she?
Yes,
a couple
very
of months.
unexpectedly.
Yeah, out of the blue. I mean, how old was she?
68.
Yeah, so it was a really tough time. So it's no age, 68. And it was unexpected, really unexpected.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go into the detail because it's private, but it was a really tough time for you and the girls, which we had to get through as a family, simultaneously organise a wedding that was happening in May. So this was just before.
This was February.
Yeah. And we had to organise the funeral because it was left up to us to organise. So I kind of took control of that. And
then there was complications, wasn't there? So it meant the funeral wasn't until April, mid-April.
Yeah, I don't want to go into that level of detail, but there were some, stuff that happened that meant that the funeral was delayed. And it was left up to us. So it was a whole big thing. Politics of family. Everyone.
And we've never had to organise a funeral before. We didn't know what we was doing.
No. I mean, people do it. So it's, we were able to do it. But my point is that all of this stuff that just added pressure. And then on top of that, to add insult to injury, on top of organising a funeral and grieving for the loss of your mum, we then had to deal with the added insult of our wedding venue. We were getting married in a church, which is the easy part. The church were great, and we were gutted about not being able to go through with it. But the wedding venue where we were going to have the ceremony, the organisers or the company that set it all up and we paid went bust.
Yeah.
And they just disappeared, didn't they? They fell off the face of the earth and stole everyone's money. And when we say steal, I mean, that's a tough word to use, but that's exactly what happened. Because they wouldn't reply to any phone calls, emails, nothing, text messages. And we found out through, trying to find a way of getting our money back, we found out that other people were in exactly the same boat.
Yeah, it wasn't just us.
It wasn't just us, which we've never got our money back.
No.
But, money can be replaced. Money isn't the be all and end all. It was the aggro and the stress that just piled on top, and we just lost a vavavoom, didn't we?
Yeah.
We just lost motivation. And considering that we've been together since 2000, we didn't feel like our relationship relied on us needing to get married to solidify anything. We were doing it. We were doing it for each other. And if I'm honest with you, I've never really said this to you. I'll say this, now, because public podcast is a great time to talk about stuff like this. But I didn't want to let you down by it being. I felt like I wanted it to be a great day for you as well, and you work incredibly hard, and I wanted it to be a celebration of us, and I just didn't want to just go through the motions for other people as well. And it felt like that's what we were doing. If we'd have got another venue and paid all of the money out again for another venue, and bearing in mind we only had 2 months to book it. Less than that.
No, it was less than that.
It was about a month, wasn't it? We only had like 4 or 5 weeks to book a new venue. The only ones that were available, because it was a bank holiday weekend as well, were like 15 grand, 20 grand for a massive, hold 500 people. And we didn't want to invite 500 people.
We don't even know 500 people.
I think the original venue was about 100 people. So, that's kind of where we were at. And we were just like, do you know what? Let's stop, dust ourselves off and go again. Mm-hmm. We can always do it again in 2025 or even 2026. We haven't got anything planned for this year for the wedding, have we?
No.
Because we just wanted to get through this year, finish it, well, because it didn't start well.
No, it didn't.
We wanted to pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off and go again.
Yeah.
There's always 2 things to do, and this is a good thing when it comes to fitness challenges. This is something I think about when I do like 100k runs or 500k Rafa Strava challenges, or even a tabbing challenge. These are the things I think about when there's 2 options you've got when things go wrong, because things always go wrong. Mm-hmm. When you do an event as big as that, things always go wrong. There is no way these things happen without there being a problem. And I always think there's 2 options. You can either adapt and overcome. Yeah. So MacGyver it and fix it, do an A-team and build a machine gun out of a spanner that you found, or stop, reflect, dust yourself off and go again when you fix the problem. Yeah. Those are the 2 options. And either of those are equally as good as each other in the right circumstances. Because I think sometimes it's foolhardy to power through if you're going to make the situation worse or potentially not enjoy it as much. Yeah. That, if you get I don't know, I liken it to getting a significant injury on a 100k run. If you break a toe, for example, powering through might not be the best option. No. On hindsight, as an example. It's the same with the wedding. We decided not to power through. We decided to dust ourselves off and come back stronger, didn't we? Yeah. Yeah. I felt just like me talking at you for like 10 minutes then.
Yeah. I don't know. I just kind of feel the same, really. Like, if we'd have done it again, if we'd have found somewhere else, we'd have just been doing it for the sake of it, which is not why we was doing it in the first place. Else we'd have done it 24 years ago. Yeah. Or, 22, 21 years ago. Yeah. We was doing it now for us because it was the right thing to do. But then just finding somewhere because it was available on the day didn't make it feel like it was the right thing to do. Yeah. Yeah, we just lost the motivation for it, didn't we? Yeah, and we wasn't in the right headspace. No. It just took the wind out. It goes back again to that whole well-being.
Yeah. It just took the wind out of our sails. Yeah. And events like getting married should be exciting. They shouldn't be an endurance event. No. They shouldn't be something that you just get through.
Which is what it would have ended up being.
Yeah, it very much felt like when you've done, like a school teacher at school, where they're coming towards the end
of term,
and they've just got 3 or 4 days left to go, and they just need to get through it.
Yeah.
So they can switch off. It kind of felt like that. towards the end of it, didn't it? And then we eventually decided just to pull the plug on the wedding. Because we could have gone through the church ceremony and just got married.
We could have, yeah.
And just maybe have some people around our house, but
it's not what we wanted.
No, and we I think you put it really well when you said we weren't in the right headspace, were we?
No, because it wasn't just the wedding we was dealing with. There was the other stuff too.
But it's also we want the people that are at our wedding to be as motivated and excited by it as we are.
Yeah.
So we've talked about this a couple of times on the podcast now, and it's going to be in my video. So if you haven't done so, please go and check out my video that I've made about my year in review on my main YouTube channel. And then new challenges for 2025. New challenges for me for 2025.
Well, you haven't really got any.
No, and that's a conscious decision, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I've made a decision this year that I'm not going to sign up to anything. Last year I did.
Well, you was signed up to something, but it got cancelled already.
That wasn't my fault. That wasn't me cancelling it.
No.
It wasn't another tabbing challenge that I cancelled. So I was signed up to the Ride London, which was the 100-mile bike ride, IRL bike ride, which I was really looking forward to because loads of people rave about how great it is. But the event organisers cancelled it without any explanation.
No, even now. Did you get your refund yet?
Yeah, I got my refund.
Oh. But even now, there's still not been any sort of explanation or rescheduling, is there?
No.
It's just gone.
Yeah. So, no explanation. I think it was something to do with the route organisers couldn't organise and agree on the route with London councils and the Mayor of London and road closures. And that's apparently what I read on Reddit. But whether that's true or not, I don't know.
Sounds feasible.
Don't really care. I'm not doing it. The organisers cancelled, which has become a bit of a theme because I've had 3 events cancelled this year.
Yeah.
So I had my... what was the other one I had? I had 2 marathons planned that were cancelled.
Oh, your... what's it called?
So I had my Battersea marathon.
Battersea, that's it. I kept thinking Brighton. I knew that was wrong.
I'm not going to go into the detail because it's dead boring. But you can't help it when organisers cancel your events, and it is quite demotivating because you build up to it, especially a marathon. I was training,
and
for
that
it.
didn't get cancelled. Well, you didn't find out till almost just a couple of days before. Yeah,
it was within the week. Now they did send the email, I think 2 or 3 weeks before.
But that's still not a lot.
But
it
landed in my junk folder. So it was annoying. It's not a lot of notice when some people spend anything up to 20 weeks training for it. I mean, I didn't do a 20-week train. I did train.
But other people might have.
Yeah, I was training. I think I did like a 10-week training plan for it. Nothing major. I was just looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
Me and the girls were looking forward to it. We had our day out planned.
But that never happened.
No.
But what I have done for this year, instead of getting excited about big challenges that are upcoming, I've decided to focus this year very much on training, I've fallen in love with cycling. So this year, one of the big things that's happened this year is I've massively got the cycling bug. I'm completely hooked on Zwift, 100% hooked. I would race, and I love racing, specifically the racing. I'm not very big on workouts on Zwift. I find the workouts a bit boring. I did a workout today, actually, because
you missed your race.
I missed my race.
Too much faffing around.
Yeah, I was faffing. I missed my race because I only started getting ready for it 15 minutes before it, and it took me 15 minutes to get ready. I don't know why. Faffed. However, my race was then 45 minutes later, so I thought I'd do a warm-up. I never actually do a warm-up, so I did a proper warm-up workout. Oh my God, so boring. It's so boring. But I did a warm-up and I did really well in the race. I was exhausted because I'd done a warm-up and the warm-up was quite brutal, but I enjoyed it and I did feel better for it. So I might start doing warm-ups. I might do a race before a race. It is quite an
integral part of exercise, the warm-up and cool-down.
Yeah, it
is. Should be doing both.
I should be doing both, yeah. Considering that our business is in fitness.
Yeah, and sport. And both involve warm-up and cool-downs.
Yeah.
And we do them.
And I'll preach that when we...
Yeah, when you're there.
Yeah. So I should be doing it myself, shouldn't I, really? But yeah, that's kind of what I want to focus on this year. I want to become a better cyclist, but not just on Zwift. I want to cement myself in Cat C. I'd love to win a Cat C race, but I also want to become a better IRL cyclist. That's my plan for this year.
Plan for this year?
Yeah. So I'm going to focus on training.
So how are you going to achieve that?
Well, I'm just going to cycle up loads of hills.
We don't really live in an area that has lots of hills.
Yeah, we've got a car.
Yeah, I know.
So we can travel, can't we?
That means I need to be involved.
Yeah. And film. You're really good at filming. So you've become a co-host on a podcast. You've also now become head of videography for my YouTube channel.
I'm really not the right person for that.
You are. You're very good at it. Are you talking into the mic?
Yes, I am talking into the mic.
Thank you. Okay, so that's that. And then the other thing that I want to focus on is, well, we're doing a challenge at the moment.
Yes, we are.
Do you want to talk about this? Because this has become more your challenge than it has mine. I started it.
It was your idea.
My idea. It was my YouTube video.
And you persuaded me to do it with
no,
you.
No.
Yes,
I'm not having that.
Yes.
Take that back.
It was your idea.
My idea.
And you persuaded me to do it with you.
No, I'm not having that. I'm not having that. Do I need to get my daughters in to back me up here? Because they were witnesses.
There's only one in the house.
Right. I never asked you to do it at all. At all. I told you what I was doing and you went, oh, that sounds good. I'll do it with you. And I was like, okay, cool. I never said to you, you have to do it. I've never once, any of my challenges said you have to do any of the other than
No, I never said
other than video.
I never said you said I had to. You managed to persuade me.
Okay.
Persuade
is just another word of making you do it.
No, it's not.
It's
completely different.
If I persuade you to run 100k,
you'd never persuade me to do 100k. Never in a million years.
I'm pretty persuasive. Watch this space, guys. I'm pretty persuasive.
Have you even managed to persuade me to run more than 10k?
If I persuade you, answer this question. If I persuade you to run 100k, have I made you run 100k?
No, I've agreed to it.
You only say no because it's for the benefit of your argument.
Anyway, doesn't matter.
All right.
Tell the people what the challenge is.
No, you tell them, because it's now become your challenge.
Only because I'm better
because I
at it than
persuaded
you.
You're not.
Only because I'm better at it than you.
All right, come on.
So it's 100 press-ups every day for 30 days.
So that was the original challenge. When did we start?
I want to say the 10th of October.
No, it was the beginning of October.
Yeah, the 10th. I'm sure it was like the 10th.
How was the 10th the beginning of October?
It wasn't the 1st.
What was in your tea that you were drinking a minute ago?
Wasn't the 1st.
It was. The 1st of October.
Was it? Are you sure?
Yeah, because I remember it being matched to my running challenge that I did, which was run 30 minutes every day for 30 days that I started in October of like 2020 or 2019.
Okay.
Anyway.
Whenever it started.
We're getting hung up on
the date.
Yeah.
Well, it does make a big difference.
Oh my goodness. This podcast is going to be an hour and a half long. You've been trying to explain this challenge for the last 10 minutes.
I told them what it is. So 100 press-ups every day for 30 days.
Yeah.
So we started it. How many could you do to start with?
Well, I want to say...
A number.
Yeah, well, the number was 2.
Yes.
But would you say that I did 2?
Yeah.
They were 2 press-ups?
2 press-ups,
I don't think they were. I'll let you be the judge of this when you see the video. I've recorded it, so... I don't think they were press-ups. I'm being honest on myself. I think I would love to be able to say I did 2 press-ups at the beginning. I couldn't do them.
I would have said that was 2.
All right, I'll take that. All right, fair enough. 2 press-ups.
And then you had to resort to doing it onto your knees, didn't you?
Well, yeah, initially, yeah.
For the rest of them.
Yeah, which you called what?
Girly press-ups.
Girly press-ups.
But that's not very PC.
No,
so we changed it to baby press-ups.
I thought that was a bit harsh, if I'm honest. I took offence to it. I'm very competitive. I'm also someone who likes to think he can do stuff when he attempts them. So when I did this challenge, it was with the sole purpose of being able to eventually get up to the point of being able to do some press-ups. I couldn't do them. No, 2, and I was done. Like, that took all of my effort, and then I was done.
Yeah.
So I had to do them on my knees, which...
Even then, you still had to do them in small amounts.
Yeah, which I could only really do like 5 on my knees.
Yeah. Do you remember back when you very first started doing your weight loss, and you tried to do press-ups in the living room, and you couldn't even hold yourself up in a front support shape?
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
Like you couldn't even hold the shape, let alone bend your arms.
Yeah, front support is the press-up position.
Yeah.
Yeah, the traditional press-up. I couldn't hold myself.
No, so skip forward several stones loss, and then you can hold yourself, and you did 2 press-ups.
Yeah, I did 2.
So I don't think
they were.
People are probably laughing, he couldn't even do a press-up, but to get to that 2, you'd already made massive, improvements.
Yeah. I am going to get annihilated in the comments because my form, I think, initially, anyway, it's not great. But we started it in October, and the aim was to do 30 days of 100 press-ups every day for 30 days. Yeah. And I just found it so tough. Now, there were 2 things that I struggled with. Obviously, doing the press-ups because of my strength, but also remaining consistent. So finding the time, remembering to do them.
Yeah, remembering has been the hardest thing.
And I was just knackered and my arms and shoulders were killing me. So I got to the point where I was like, I needed a rest day. And then that rest day turned into 2 rest days. And then I was like, I don't want to do this challenge anymore. So I quit.
Yeah.
Which I don't quit stuff.
No, you don't.
This is how hard this challenge has been. But someone didn't quit. Someone who was forced, persuaded, which is semantics, didn't quit. So even though she thought she'll help me out, she 100% did this challenge for herself. She wanted to prove that this is something she could do.
Yeah.
I'm talking about you in the third person.
Yeah, thanks.
This is what happened. So you didn't stop.
No.
You carried on, didn't you?
Yeah.
It must have been the middle of October. I think you're right. I think we argued over the date. I think you were right. So you carried on and you haven't stopped since, have you?
No.
So what day are you on now?
I think today's day 72.
Yeah.
So I was like you at the start, though. I could only do like 10 or 15 at a time, and I had to spread them out throughout the day.
Oh, you can only do 10 or 15 at a time in really good form, by the way. This is the same person that doesn't run, rocked up at a 10K, run with me, and comfortably run a PB.
I wouldn't say it was comfortably.
Well, you didn't
Well, it
struggle.
is a PB if I've never done it before.
You didn't struggle that much. You stopped halfway to have a glass of water. That's struggling, isn't it?
Yes.
You should have seen me when I first tried running a 10K. Right, anyway.
Anyway, yeah, so I still had to spread them out throughout the day. And then the more I did, I got to the 30 days and I just thought, well, I can't do them all in one go yet.
Yeah, well...
So I carried on until...
Carried on. So now you're at 7,200 press-ups, aren't you?
No, because I haven't done today's yet.
Okay, you said 72 days.
Yeah, today is day 72.
All right, you've done 7,100 press-ups.
Yes.
Sorry, we have to be specific on
Yes,
this.
you do have to be exact.
Oh, my goodness. So you've done that many.
Yeah.
You can now do how many? You can do 100 now.
Yeah, I can do it. I have to take... I can do 50 non-stop. Oh, decent ones. So I can get to 50 without stopping.
I will say your form is pretty much spot on.
Then I need to take like a 30 second to a minute rest.
Yeah.
And then I can do 25, just pause and then 25.
So your challenge is at the end of the 100 days, because you're doing it for 100 days.
I want to be able to do the 100 non-stop by the 100th day.
Without a pause.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the challenge for you.
I don't need to spread them out throughout the day. It is...
Yeah, initially you had to spread them out, didn't
Yeah.
you? Which is what I had to do. I had to do 10 here, 10 there, and then within the period of 12 hours, I would have done the 100.
Yeah, and it's remembering your count as well.
It is remembering it, and I did it on my knees.
Yeah.
And
You're now on your...
Hang on.
Oh,
I'm building up to it. I'm adding in drama. I'm not going straight to the punchline. I've got to tell the joke first. So, and the joke is my press-ups, if I'm honest. So I started off on my knees, girly press-ups. Non-PC description, which I didn't really appreciate.
And then you was doing them on a something that was raised,
and then I moved up. I watched a video about
and you
how
found
to
them a
do
lot
press-ups.
easier, didn't you?
I thought I need help with this, so I actually did some research, and it said start off with your press-ups on your knees, which they didn't describe it as girly press-ups, which I appreciated, and then I progressed to doing it at a higher level. So I made it harder, but I moved my centre of gravity, so it was lower down, so it gave me. It took the pressure off my arms. So I was doing it on my steps indoors, and then I did it on a bench at work, and then I was doing it on a chair, and then I was doing it on the sofa, and then I was doing it on the table, which was a low coffee table. And eventually I got to the point where I could do 10 press-ups normally. Once I'd done that, I then obviously still spaced them out. I kept going through November. Didn't do every day. I had rest days because my arms were rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
I was struggling.
Yeah.
Then I got to December and I was like, right, I'm going to do every day in December. So we're now on, what's the date today?
I think it's the 19th.
19th. So I've done 19 days of 100 normal press-ups every day, only stopping to rest in between 30s. So I say in between 30. And I think they're relative.
Yeah, but you're only resting for, you know, 5 or 10 minutes.
But would you say it's good form?
Yeah.
Would you say my first 20 are good form?
Yeah.
Would you say my last 20 are good form?
Yeah.
You would?
They're not.
I think you're being too kind. I think my last 20, I'm going to get criticised in the comments. I'm just getting ready in my head for people to say your form is shocking. Anyone can do a press up like that. But
yeah, but I'd challenge anyone to do it for 100 days and 100.
But I'm at a place now.
And see if they can do 100 like proper form, unless they're like some sort of gym junkie and are there every day with muscles like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, Arnold who? Say it again.
No.
Okay. So I'm at a point now where I can do 100 normal press ups. I don't have to do it on my knees. I don't have to do it against the steps. I can do a normal press up, 100 of them. My aim is by the end of December. What's my aim? I've done the 100 press ups now. I'm at the point.
To do it in one go?
To do it in one go, maybe. I don't know. That's pretty hard. I can do 30 now in one go.
Maybe to try and get to 50 in one go.
Yeah, maybe.
It's taken me more than the 30 days to get to 50.
The reason I wanted to do this challenge, right? The reason I started it was because when I was a kid, and I went to a youth club. I was a proper inner London street urchin as a kid. I was like an extra from Oliver Twist, and I went to this youth club, and and this is in the 80s, guys, all right, the 80s and 90s, and the consequence for this youth club, if we swore, we weren't allowed to swear. We weren't allowed to swear because they wanted to install values in us as London kids. You can imagine being brought up in London with my mates. We were like sailors with Tourette's. So, yeah, the consequence was to do 10 press-ups, and I couldn't do them. So it's always stuck with me that I've never been able to do. And then obviously as I got older and I got heavier, I had zero chance of being able to do a press-up. And I just thought that press-ups were for other people. And then to reach the point where I'm now able to do a press-up, that's what I wanted to get out of this. Because it kind of fulfilled...
Well, you've already fulfilled
a childhood goal of mine. Yeah, I fulfilled it. I've done it.
You can do a press-up.
But I'm going to finish the challenge. I'm going to get to 100 press-ups by the end of December. 100 press-ups every day for 30 days. Yeah. Or 31 days. Because it's 31 days in December. I may as well finish the extra day.
There was 31 in October when we started
but I didn't finish it. But
we didn't start it at the beginning. We started it midway through and it was just 30 days.
Shall I stop on the 30th of December?
Yeah, why not? I remember the thing that we was going to talk about that I'd forgotten.
What's that?
About the park runs.
What was that?
So every year, for the last 2 years, with all of us, the 4 of us together, have gone on Christmas Eve and done the park run. Yes. In our Christmas jumpers. Yeah. And then we discovered this week that there is no Christmas Eve park runs this year. They've put it on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Who does that?
We've done a park run every Christmas Eve for the last 2 years. It's become a bit of a family tradition.
Yeah. That we wanted to carry on.
Me and you look forward to it.
Yeah.
And then we force our reluctant 2 teenage daughters to come and do it.
But they do it.
They do it. They do it reluctantly, and there's always tears at the end of it. Go and watch my video from last year. You'll see what I mean. But I get as much of a buzz out of forcing my 2 crying teenage daughters to run fight. If you watch them, if you were there afterwards, you'd call social services because it looks like I forced them to run 100k against their will. They've done a 5k park run. Reluctantly, and they're only crying because they've done it reluctantly and finished it. They're not crying.
No, to context it, the times that they were crying, they've run it not feeling very well to start off with. They were a bit poorly before they even started running.
Scarlett wasn't?
Yeah, she was.
Oh, anyway, that makes it sound even worse as parents. But this year, they are over the moon that they haven't got to do it because you won't do it on Christmas Day, will you?
No.
Well, they certainly won't. They won't get dressed. They'll refuse to come out of their bedroom if we go on Christmas Day.
Yeah, they wouldn't do it.
So we're not doing park runs.
No.
We can still do the Saturday, and I think they've also got New Year's Day.
Yeah, we can do the New Year's Day one.
We can still do those 2. Yeah. But we just don't get to do
the Christmas
Eve, which we're pretty upset about. So instead, I'm going to do the Rafa 500, 100k group ride on Zwift.
On Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's it. Anything else to add? Any details you think we've missed? No? Happy?
Yeah, I think so. I'm happy.
All right, good.
Are you happy?
I'm happy. So look, guys, I just want to say a big, big thank you for listening and watching this podcast. If you're watching this on Patreon, thank you for your support as always. It really, really means a lot. If you're watching this on Join, ditto. Happy Christmas. We hope you have a fantastic Christmas period. We hope you have a great Christmas Day if you're listening and watching then, and we hope you have an even better New Year. If you're watching this mid-Jan, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Hang on. Here, hang on. That's
I've got one.
Have you got one? Okay, here we go. If you're watching this mid-Jan, Happy New Year. See you in next week's episode. Cheers, guys.